Hi everyone, and welcome back to Berry Patch Lifestyle. My name is Tracy and I am so happy you're joining me today. This is day 8 of our fundamentals of yoga for beginners. So if it's not day 8 for you, that's okay. If you need to take a couple of days in between because you don't have time or you found something you want to spend a little bit extra time on, fantastic. I always say this is what we're doing tomorrow, but if it's not tomorrow for you, that's completely fine. Or I say this is what we're doing at the end of the week. Yours is a couple of extra days or extra months or whatever you need to do, then that's what you have to do. Okay, so for today, we're gonna work on warrior postures. We are going to have to warm up just a little tiny bit, so it's not gonna be a long practice today, but just stick with me and we're gonna do a warm up, a warrior, and then you'll be on your way. So try to let go of everything you had to do before you got here and everything that's waiting for you once you leave. Just stay here for this very short time and we're going to learn how to warrior. For our warm-up, you're going to want to make sure you're feeling that space behind your big toe, behind your baby toe, and at your heel. Give yourself a nice stable base. Knees are bent ever so slightly. Hips are square. Shoulders are pressed back and down, or down and back. I think I did that backwards. Your hands are shining forward at your sides. Your chin is tucked ever so slightly and your crown is shining up. These are all things that seem like a lot to remember right now, but it becomes very natural the more and more you do it. So let's just have a couple of breaths here. You'll notice my shoulders might come up a little bit on the inhale and press down on the exhale. You keep going there. I'm going to talk for a second. So we're just going to do a couple of squats. I don't feel like we should go into our warrior postures cold. So we're going to send our hips back. Our knees are not going to track out over our toes. And we're going to give our arms a little bit of movement too. Try and warm everything up all at the same time. All right, so sit the hips back and we're squatting. And now the arms are coming up, hands to the shoulders. See if we can lift our hands kind of halfway now, out in front of us. Deepen your squat if you can. Arms are going all the way up now. Standing up tall. Feel your feet moving just a little bit on the ground. Kind of circle them around. Kind of get through those ankles. Now see if we can move them a little bit more, rolling through the ankles. The spots we're gonna need. Actually, we need all of them. Now go the other way. Move my knees a little bit too. Remembering to breathe. Hands now shining forward, standing up tall. Shoulders pressed back and down. We're going to take an inhale and exhale down, really squeezing through the shoulders, bringing those shoulder blades together, spreading the fingers. Wiggle them if you want. And I think we're ready to start. So we're going to step to the top of the mat. And we're going to move into a downward dog, which you've already seen, and start the warrior postures from there. So slight knee bend, inhale up, exhale forward, all the way down, drop your head. Again, shake your head no, nod your head yes. Keep it still now and clasp opposite elbow with opposite hand and give a little bit of a sway, shifting your weight from one foot to the other. Now drop those hands. We're going to bend our knees ever so slightly. Hands are coming up and overhead. We're inhaling and exhale down. We're going to get moving a little bit more now. now. So inhale up, exhale down, halfway lift. Hands are down at the mat. Now we're going to step forward. Sorry, we're stepping backwards now. Forward, step backwards with the left, step backwards with the right. Now we're moving into a downward dog. Pedaling your feet. Press your heels down to the mat. Now lift them up and press them down again. Head is between your arms. Feet are pressing down. Sits bones are pointed up to the sky. Now lift your head and you're going to look up between your hands and you're going to try to move your left foot in between them. So if you pick up your left foot and it ends up somewhere around the middle of the mat, you might have to lift it up again and give it a little bit of help. If you can step it all the way up, that's good. Or if it's kind of just a little bit behind, you might can scooch it with your toes. So find a nice stable base here. Get that foot there any way you can. We're going to be lifting up from the body, so we want to make sure everything's nice and stable. We're going to send that back foot down. So you're going to turn it just a little bit, kind of like a 45-degree angle, and then we're going to lift the body up. We're going to keep the arms nice and straight. As we come up, you can feel all the parts of your body that are helping you to come up. So you can really feel where the strength comes in, that we're building strength with this posture, but also your mental focus. So in order to get all these things right at the same time, it takes a lot of work for your body. So if you don't get it right away, don't worry about it. This is a simple posture, but there's still a lot going on. I can feel my back leg is shaking already. So that front toe I can see. As I always say, the knee is not bent over the toe. I can see my toes. And we're trying to distribute the weight evenly between the front and the back legs. We're not leaning out over that front leg, and we're not kind of leaning back. We want to try and make sure we have equal distribution of the weight. And we kind of sink down as much as we can into the posture, and those arms come up and overhead as straight as you can make them. Kind of your arms are right beside your ears. And then we just breathe here. We're going to take 5 breaths. So that sounds really easy, but I'm sure that you can feel where your body is drawing strength from. So now to come out of this, we're going to have our hands go to either side of that front foot. Place your hands on the mat. You can feel that you had to use your core to come down here. And then we're going to turn that foot we had put it on the mat. Now we're turning it so we're up on our toes. We're going to press into the hands, lift the whole torso just a little tiny bit so we can get that foot out from underneath us. So now we're in plank again, and we're going to push up to that downward dog so we can do the other side. So we look up between our hands. Now if you step forward and you're here, that's okay. You might have to do a little bit of a lift to get your foot to come all the way forward for you. However you get it here for now, that's how you get it here. Now, I'm going to put that back foot down. We'll talk about that again in a second. I'm going to sweep my hands up and overhead again. Warrior 1 on this side. Now, when I did this on the other side, whoop, there goes my stable base, I had my foot on a 45-degree angle. And when I learned yoga, that's what I was told had to happen. But the ashram where I studied said, you know what, whatever feels good for your body, if you get more of a stable base by making it parallel to the short edge of your mat, then that's fine. If you need to bring it in a little bit, that's good too. Whatever is working for you right now. Okay, so if you didn't quite get that foot all the way up to the top, that's okay. Just adjust your body to where it needs to be. You just want to make sure, I always say this, I know I said it already, that knee doesn't go out over the toe. We're going to have that facing the short edge. Our hips are turned to kind of face those right toes, okay? And we're going going to sweep those arms up again. They're up and overhead. You can look up in the sky if you like. You need to find a spot on the floor. That's okay too. You just don't want to crane your neck too much. And we'll breathe here again. If you find yourself kind of moving around and maybe tumbling a little bit in this posture, that's okay. Just come on back in. So our arms are overhead. Now I like to sweep the arms. We have to pick up those toes. So we're going to sweep the arms down. We're going to pick up the toes of the back foot, raise that heel again, really push into our hands, raise the torso so we can pick up that foot and get it all the way to the back again. However that happens for you. If you need to come down to a knee, do that. Okay, so we're pushing up again, and we're going to move into our second warrior posture, which is warrior two. We're going to look up between the hands. We're going to step that forward for wherever yours lands. We're going to put the back heel down. That would be our right heel. Put the right heel down. Same thing again. We're sweeping the arms up and overhead, kind of leaning into that leg, really feeling strong. Weight is evenly distributed. This time, instead of our arms going up and overhead, we're going to turn so that the hips actually turn a little bit as well. And we're going to have our hands out kind of to a T, facing front and back. Now, some people will have those hands facing downwards. Some will have them up. That is up to you. Backhand is down. And we're going to breathe. If you didn't flow into this posture and you need to make adjustments, please do that. So now I take this hand and I sweep it up. So basically, in warrior one again, we're going to put the hands down on either side of the foot, pick up the back heel, press into the hands, lift the torso, send that left foot back into downward dog. We're looking up between the hands again. Send the right foot forward. Get there whichever way you can. Left heel goes down. We're sweeping up this time. So now you can see my hips are opening. My hands are going out to a T, hands up or down. I'm going to choose up. Sometimes you might start this way and then come up for when we go into warrior, for reverse warrior, which we're going to do next. So we're going to breathe here. And we're looking out over that hand, still feeling like we have equal distribution of weight. Just breathing. Trying to remember, sometimes when we're getting into these new postures, our shoulders want to come up because we're getting kind of uptight about what we're doing, but just kind of, don't worry about it. Nobody can see you. So let's settle down, shoulders down, looking out over the hand. I love warrior postures because I do feel really strong when I do them. You have to be strong in the core, and if you need some building in your core muscles, this is where it's going to happen. Okay, we're finished here. We're going to turn our hands kind of back up through warrior one. We're going to lift that back heel, set down into it. Hands are going to come back down on either side. We're going to step back and push into downward dog. We're going to breathe. And we're going to try reverse warrior now. So same thing. We always step up with the left foot. Place the back foot down. We're going to sweep those arms up. And the way I usually get into reverse warrior is to open up into warrior two. And then we're going to face that hand, face it upwards. And then you lean forward. Now your base is going to start to shift, but you try to keep it as equal as possible still. We're shifting forward. This hand is gonna come down and this one's going up. So I always have this hand facing down and I don't normally stabilize it anywhere, just the way I like to do it. If you want, you can have your hand kind of holding you up on the back of your thigh. And you're looking up to the sky. So this one is a little bit more challenging because it can, if you're maybe not used to doing this kind of thing, it can really challenge your balance. So hand here, your arm is kind of back behind you and you're looking up to the sky. You really feel your core holding you up here. All of this. You feel the shake in my back leg too. So now we're going to come through Warrior 2 again. Warrior 1. Hands are down to the mat. Lift the torso so that you can get that foot out from underneath you and send it back. Now we're going to go into a downward dog. And then of course we're going to do the other side. So right foot steps forward. Give you a moment to get there. The left heel comes down. We're going to come up through Warrior 1. Warrior 2. Everything is stable. That hand turns up. We reach forward. And then we start to tilt. Reverse warrior. Where's that hand for you? Where are you stabilizing? Mine is still going straight down. All right, let's come back through Warrior 2, Warrior 1. Hands are coming down. Step back. Pushing to downward dog. We're going to do just one more. So looking up between the hands, step forward with your left foot, plant your right. Arms are going to come up and overhead. We're getting a lot of practice in Warrior 1. And then bring them to your back. And you can clasp them or have them just kind of parallel with your back and arms straight down or clasp. And we're going to bend over our front leg, so our left leg, for Humble Warrior. Now a lot of people can stretch all the way forward. If this is where you are, that's your Humble Warrior. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a stretch. You can use a breath to come, an inhale to come up and an exhale to come down if you like. And let go of your head. This one is really challenging for balance. And let go of your arms. Place your hands on either side of your foot. Turn up that back heel. Push up so you can release your foot. Push to downward dog. Look up between your hands. We're going to step forward. Plant the heel. We sweep up. Hands are coming to the back, wherever they were for you. If you had them just kind of straight down like that, maybe I can do that this time on this side. So nice stable base. We're going to lean forward. Hands are coming down. I need to stretch into my knee just a little bit more. Hands on either side of your foot. Lift your back heel. Send your foot back. We'll do knees down. And we'll sit our bottoms down on the ground, come to a cross-legged position. And that's it for our warrior postures for today. So I know they can be a little bit challenging, but you can see strength, your focus, and just all around yoga basics foundation So hopefully you enjoyed this today, and we see you tomorrow or 3 days from now, whenever the next video is for you on day 9. Take care, everybody.